Hello, this is Steve, Dichroic Glassman. Well, this is panel 2B. To be. And you can see you don't want to have any zinc on this edge, because if you watch the previous video, this edge butts right into the H shape. There's a little bit of foil sticking off into the H shape zinc, so that it's going to appear to be looking like a giant panel. 10 foot, 1 inch on this group. There's two panels. This panel here is about 5 foot, and the other one's about 5 foot. And they butt together to make a 10 foot, 1 inch panel. I've got to make a crate. More than likely I'll make a video and show the process of making a crate. I've got to ship it from the West Coast, from California to the East Coast. It's going to go by motor freight. And you got to be very careful when building your crates. So I'll talk about that in another video. It's a good idea. In the previous video I said to build a frame. If you're going to ship a window, what you might want to do, I built this frame out of 2x4, and then I used some furring strip, screwed it into some various locations. I used a screw up here and one at the other end, and just gravity is holding that in there, and the garage door is holding down on top of this frame. So the reason you might want to do this and take as many pictures as possible, I've took lots of pictures each segment, is to show proof that the window is in perfect condition before it leaves. I've got documentation, video and picture documentation. When you click on your pictures, by the way, in your hard drive, all you got to do is right click and click on the properties, and you can tell the second that that photograph was taken. So it's a time-stamped documentation. It's very valuable if you ever have to prove yourself. So if this panel arrives and it's got a crack here and a crack here, then we can take it out on the shipper, because right here you see this panel is in perfect condition. So videoing and taking pictures is very valuable. So you might want to think of that ahead of time before you ship the panel, before you wrap it up, package it up. You might want to go through the steps like what I'm doing right here, just as an idea, just as a thought. I know I do it just to cover my rear, as they would say, and then the insurance takes over. Look at these dichroic jewels. I make these. Well, I don't make the jewel and I don't make dichro, but I have a process of where I put them together. Dichroic bevels and jewels, and then I have the dichroic glass, like this, a spotlight. I have that coated. CBS has coated well, here's clear spotlight, and here's dichroic spotlight. CBS has coated many sheets of glass for me, pretty much every texture you've ever seen, clear texture that is, in which is called architectural glass, architectural textures. I've had it coated with dichro. I've had this flute done in many colors, from blue gold to cyan to, I think I've had cyan copper, and right here is red, silver, blue. So you can see the red. And that's flute. And here is clear flute. So from there to here, we have red flute. And I don't see any blue flute in here. Nope, they're in other panels. Reason I love abstracts is because on the other panels I've talked about this, and this panel is clearly different. They're my interpretations of what I'm thinking. You know, intellectually speaking, they say the human only uses 5% of its mind. Well, somewhere in that brain of ours, this incredible arena of possibilities in our brain, there are other processes going on. But the human aspect is we're unaware of those. Some people think that it's involuntary. Perhaps that other percentage goes into breathing and walking and our heart rates and rapid eye movements and keeping the blood pressure in sync and the pressure in the eyeball and all those factors. Perhaps. Some of us are going through a spiritual transformation, a new renaissance. It goes without saying that we're in some different times right now, and this abstract is an abstract idea of my mental processes. Breaking out of the box, theories, concepts, disciplines, innovations, it's all expressed in here. Perhaps like a Rorschach, one day people are going to be able to interpret abstracts on some level. I'm doing it now. I'm seeing things in my abstracts, faces and fishes that I didn't plan. They turned out to be that way. Or if you turn on one angle or another angle or look from a side or this way or that, I'm seeing different things all the time. That's what's so fun about the abstract, is it's so innovative. It's not, to me, the old pheasants laying in grass or a duck on a pond that just doesn't seem to get up and move. Oh, here's Toth. Hey, buddy. It's my pixie Bob. He loves cameras. As soon as I break out the camera, he's right there. He loves being in the videos. I am not kidding. He's a polydactyl pixie Bob. Let's see if you see your toes, bud. He's got 7 on each paw. Show us your paws. Can't see him. Hey, kinda. There you go. Those toes wrap around. Anyway, better get off that. That's Toth. He's my pixie Bob. Check out the cross on his back. Let's see if he'll let us. Toth is a cross that goes right down his back and it goes across. It's like a cross or a sword. Some days it's real obvious and it stands out. Anyway, let's get back to the panel. Look at that jewel. I love it. Love Dichro. I'm the Billy Mays of Dichro. I love Dichro. Let's go to the back side and you can see the Dichroic on the back side. Everything that appears to be metallic or silver or reflective, foil, all that, whatever adjective you want to use, that's the Dichro from the back side. Because this is the cold side. Sunlight is coming down, touching the surface. It doesn't need to go through it in order for me to interpret the color. Light is bouncing off the surface back to me and I'm interpreting what I see. That's called reflective or refractive. Cold value, because the glass does not need to be excited at this point to see what you see. You got to be really selective about when you make a stained glass panel, and I've made several that never got illuminated, never were put in front of a light. So if you're going to do that, kind of like wallpaper, so to speak, then you got to use colors that are very vibrant, that don't require sunlight or any kind of light to tell what you're seeing. So instead of using cathedral colors, you would use solid, what we call an opalume color, or opal colors. You want to use a neon yellow and a neon orange and a bright red and pretty colors of blue, kind of like Southwest is. The Southwest idea doesn't need any colors or doesn't need any light to illuminate them. They are what they are. Terracotta, sand, turquoise, you know the color scheme. However, in stained glass, we like to depend on warm value where the light illuminates. Same thing in a church. Have you ever driven by a church at night? Windows look boring and black and dull, and then all of a sudden somebody flips on the light and wow, it's color, it's magic. That's the concept. It takes warm light to appreciate the values of glass, the warm values. That's what we have here. So the next video is going to be building a crate. Got to be really careful about building the crates. In over 10 years of shipping, I've only had one window break one piece of glass. So I take great care in building my crates to ship these panels off. These panels are worth a lot of money. A lot of people are not aware that stained glass is called collectible fine art. If you check with your insurance agent or company, you will find out that stained glass is insurable. It's considered collectible fine art. Not a lot of people are aware of that. Especially if the window's installed, it will appreciate your home the value of the appraised value of the glass. Because this panel has dichroic elements in it, and I'm virtually the only one in America making them on dichroicglassman.com, I could pretty much set the price. Dichro, by the way, in its own industry, retails for $12 an inch and more. Isn't that crazy? Well, I've talked about some of the applications of Dichro in some of my previous videos, and it's an opportunity to tell people, check out some of my previous videos, especially on my website about dichroic information. As always, thank you very much for your warm comments, compliments, and I look forward to talking to more people. And again, I'm very grateful for this. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.